morning and thank you for joining us here on Halton News. It's Thursday, July 9th, and I'm Jessica Kading. There are currently 51 active cases of COVID-19 in our region. There's one new case in Burlington since yesterday, bringing the total in our city to 9. Oakville remains stable at 12 active cases. There have been 4 recoveries in Milton, bringing the total number down to 29, and there are still 5 cases in Halton Hills. There's a special council meeting being held tonight at 7 p.m. in Oakville to discuss evidence for and against mandatory mask wearing in the town. You can watch the meeting online at oakville.ca, and Oakville's Mayor Rob Burton will join me here on Halton News with an update from that meeting tomorrow. Halton Hills is also having a special council meeting. Theirs will take place tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. If you have comments about the proposed mask-wearing bylaw in Halton Hills, you can email your thoughts to clerks@haltonhills.ca. Burlington's Mayor Mary-Ann Mead Ward and Ward 4 Councillor Shauna Stolte are supporting a mask bylaw in Burlington as well, and this will be discussed at the Corporate Services Strategy, Risk and Accountability Committee tomorrow. The final vote in Burlington will be on Monday, July 13th. We will, of course, keep you posted. A 19-year-old Oakville man has been pronounced dead after emergency responders were called to Balls Falls Conservation Area in Lincoln. Emergency responders were told that a male had jumped and not resurfaced. After an extensive search, the teen's body was found in the water. He would have fallen 100 feet, and police say the water levels are low and extremely dangerous. Foul play is not suspected. If you were a witness or in the area yesterday afternoon, police do ask that you call 905-688-4111, extension 5400. 9 emergency vehicles were on the scene just after 7:30 this morning. After a fire broke out in an industrial warehouse on Pioneer Road. The fire burned for 6 hours and smoke could be seen outside the building. The damage is estimated at $400,000, and the suspected cause was the storage of the lithium batteries. The Burlington Fire Department reminds us to exercise caution when storing lithium batteries, remove them from the equipment and store them in a cool, dry place. The Impact Assessment Agency of Canada is now inviting the public and Indigenous groups to comment further on the proposed CN Rail Logistics Hub in Milton. Melissa Candelaria reports.
If you've got something to say about the proposed CN Rail Intermodal Logistics Hub in Milton, the federal government wants to hear from you. Regional and Milton Councillor Mike Cluett says this proposed hub is not new to residents and elected officials in Halton.
Essentially what happened was a number of years ago, CN had proposed, because of the land that they own on the southwestern portion of Milton, south of Britannia over by First Line, a proposed intermodal logistics hub. And previous to that, they had applied and withdrawn. Again, it's been a long story on that one. But essentially, it's now gone to the CEAA, which is the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency.
This assessment agency is looking for your input on the potential environmental assessment conditions laid out here from now until August 21st. This is certainly not the first time the public has been asked for their input in the past few years. Town and Regional Council has hosted many public meetings and open houses. Cluett says it's no secret Halton Region has been vocal in their opposition to the project.
We're not against rail, we're not against an intermodal. We're against where the location currently is. There's been significant environmental impacts that have been identified through this first part of the process that we have concerns with, and we want to make sure that those are addressed. It's not simply, okay, fill this piece of paper, file this fee, and we'll be okay with it. There's still so many things that are involved in it, and if you do go to the website to find out more information on how you can provide your comments, there's a 44-page document that is essentially the conditions under the Environmental Assessment Act that have to be reviewed. There's noise pollution, there's air quality, there's different types of particulates that are in the air that have through this process have been identified as potential impacts. The fact that it's across the street from residential developments.
Now, this issue has even been brought up in the House of Commons. Back in February, Wellington-Halton Hills MP Michael Chong pressed Prime Minister Justin Trudeau for the government's stance on the project.
Halton Region opposes this project. Regional Chair and former Liberal MP Gary Carr opposes this project. The people of Halton oppose this project. Will the Liberal government, including 2 Liberal cabinet ministers from Halton, tell the people of Halton Region their position on this project.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, as always, we will move forward in a responsible way and pay very close attention to concerns of people on the ground. Indeed, we've heard the environmental preoccupations. I can highlight that our very own new outstanding member for Milton has been very clear on his concerns around this project, both to caucus and to Cabinet, and we will move forward in a responsible way as Canadians expect it.
It is the federal government who will ultimately decide the fate of this proposal. In the meantime, Councillor Cluett is encouraging you to get your opinions to the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency before the August 21st deadline. And if you want to follow this proposal along, Halton Region has a timeline on their website with all supporting documents to keep you updated and informed. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.
CN Rail has issued a statement regarding this next stage in the process. Spokesperson Jonathan Abacussis said CN's proposed Milton Logistics Hub is a critical investment in Canada's economy. He goes on to say that, quote, the company is pleased to have reached the stage of the release of the draft conditions and the associated public comment period and is actively reviewing the draft conditions and will be providing its feedback to the Impact Assessment Agency of Canada. To read the full statement, please head to our website at yourtv.tv/Milton. There's a new fire chief in town. Brian Durden retired from this position at the end of June, and we now welcome Paul Boissonneau to this new role, taking the responsibility of leading the Oakville Fire Department. He brings over 22 years of experience and has been Oakville's deputy fire chief since 2016. He says, it's an honor to accept this appointment. I look forward to serving the Oakville community in this new role and continuing to work with the exceptional team from all divisions of the Oakville Fire Department. In the coming months, the town will be recruiting for another deputy fire chief to complete the Oakville Fire Department's leadership team. Action Milton is a group of Campbellville residents who have band together in an attempt to stop the Campbellville quarry. Tonight, they will be asking the elected officials in Milton to support an interim control bylaw to assess the impact of the quarry on our air quality, water, natural environment, and the well-being of residents. You can join the meeting virtually at 7 p.m. tonight by registering at actionmilton.ca/events. The City of Burlington will host another COVID-19 teletown hall on Thursday, July 17th from 6 until 7:30. The focus will be on what summer will look like in our city now that splash pads, pools, parks, and camps are reopened, and what we can expect when we head into the autumn when our schools and businesses will continue to reopen more fully. We will be broadcasting this live right here on Your TV. The Oakville Chamber of Commerce held their weekly Conversations webinar at our Your TV studio today. The session was hosted by Oakville Chamber Chair Tim Cadigan, and this week's topic highlighted the resilience shown by some small businesses in the face of the pandemic. Oakville restaurateur Julia Hanna spoke about how COVID-19 has challenged the community, but also presented opportunities.
This epidemic is clearly dividing lines, and people that are living on the margin, they are going to be tipped over. And we as a community, is there any other community like Oakville that has the resources and the support to make sure that we deal with those issues? So we continued cooking. And then what happened, Tim? We had people send us, just literally put money in our bank account. I have to give Doug McKenzie a shout out, so that we can continue buying food. And it launched something we call Return No Gives. And we are starting up again this month, where people, when they donate, it just goes to the purchase of food. We volunteer all our time and the restaurant. And I've worked with my sons, Tim, together in a kitchen, my 3 sons and myself. The first week it was like a movie. And then I thought, wow, I created these beans. By the second week, it was a horror film. We were fighting and we were just letting it go. But the most beautiful thing that came from that, we realized as a family, you have to work through your issues. You have to be able to be open and speak to one another. And you have to have time together. And that's what COVID has done. It's brought us together. And now we're going to continue. My 3 sons are continuing with Return No Gives. So that's a good thing.
The conscious decision to support local restaurants by ordering takeout during the pandemic has not only helped their bottom lines, but it's also created a real sense of community.
This pandemic is going to define us as a human race. It's going to define what the decisions we make now, the things that we do now, will determine whether we're on the right side of this or the wrong side of this. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that there are people who are consciously saying, I need to support this business because I'm not only supporting them to, so that they can sustain being in this industry, but I'm supporting myself because I want to be able to, once we've come through this, be able to have restaurants to go to and retail shops to go to. And it isn't being overly dramatic. And I know as an Italian and of course I'm passionate about this, but let me tell you, we are, if that isn't happening, if people aren't aware, and as my youngest son would say, woke to everyone around us, if you're singular minded and you're protecting your own, you are going to be at a loss. It is the people, the individuals, the levels of government that are saying, what can we do as a whole to make this better?
Another small business owner, Lindsay Boardman of Mayraki Fitness, says the Oakville Chamber played a huge role in helping them get to the point of reopening now under Stage 2, but she wishes they had a stronger online presence for their business before everything shut down.
One thing that we definitely could have done different from the get-go, it was something that had been on our kind of to-do list for a while, was making sure that there was more of an online or social presence from our business. When we finally did obviously hear that we had to close the doors, we were one of many like personal trainers or businesses that all of a sudden flooded Zoom and the online world, trying to get our businesses out there in order to be able to continue to get some type of financial support. With that, with so many people coming on, it obviously, it's a program that's continuing to grow. But I definitely think that for myself or any business owner, if we had had a better balance between the in-person services and the online, it definitely would have helped us out the last couple of months.
Those 2 episodes of Conversations can be viewed on the Oakville Chamber's website. Tourism Burlington's Visitor Information Center, located at 414 Locust Street, downtown Burlington, has reopened to welcome visitors and local industry partners. Their hours of operation are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily, but they are taking steps to protect the safety of visitors and staff by implementing social distancing protocols. For more information, please visit tourismburlington.com. While we often hear about restaurants being hard hit by the pandemic, and certainly they have been, the closure and continued closure of all indoor movie theaters has also resulted in a lot of job loss and lost revenue. Fortunately, in Oakville, there is an alternative for big screen lovers. More on that after the break. Welcome back to Halton News. For many, summer nights normally mean summer movies, but with the pandemic keeping indoor theaters closed, many are opting to watch their movies under the stars. Let's take a look.
Going to a drive-in theater has always had a nostalgic feeling for movie lovers, and with good reason.
So this drive-in was built in 1959, and our family took it over in 1961, and it was one screen, and it was cow pastures everywhere, and no development, and it was like something very novel at the time, and the drive-in's been around for 60 years, so it's quite a history.
The drive-in has experienced a resurgence in popularity since lockdown. In fact, they've sold out every day since opening June 5th.
So I always tell people, get your tickets early, and you buy them online. It's a very easy thing to do. The movies we're playing are a great selection of movies you've never seen, like Grease and Dirty Dancing and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So a lot of fun movies that people haven't seen. When you see them under the stars, it's transformational.
Why does Alan love the drive-in?
So it's a way of almost bringing your whole house to the drive-in, and it's almost like a form of urban camping. And so you're doing that, you're here for 4 hours, and you're with your family, with the people you want to be with, and you don't worry about anything because you're still, you have your own controlled atmosphere. And especially during these times, it's even more advantageous because your car is like your PPE, and you're very safe in your car, and we are practicing all the safe measures.
But what is bringing in the audience?
Well, the food's pretty good from the popcorn I've had, and it's just a better experience than staying inside a movie theater, and it's more cooler to sit outside under the stars and watch a movie.
Being able to be outdoors in the summer and not in like a freezing cold dark theater surrounded by mouth breathers.
Cineplex is closed. It's the only way to watch a movie. I can watch Netflix, but you get tired of those movies, right? So like, you get to go out and still be inside at the same time. It's your social distancing, and you get to enjoy the movie theater.
I think COVID has brought us a lot back to traditions and like simple pleasures, and like the drive-in is so a summer simple pleasure. I haven't been since I was like in high school. And it's just such a nice way to do an activity that is socially distanced, and like you can get out here and like enjoy a movie in a way that you can't really do anywhere else right now. Yeah. Exactly. And you get to bring Shay.
Shay, what do you have to say about that?
Locked up for a bit. We've never been to the drive-in. We've been together for a while, and this is probably one of the only things we haven't done yet.
And Dirty Dancing.
And Dirty Dancing.
One of the best movies ever.
I thought that these things were like these pillar things were going to be like megaphones that you would blare into your car, but apparently technology has come a long way.
Those 60-year-old speaker poles are actually being repurposed as space markers for a new concession app that will soon allow you to order right to your car. But that's just one of the many changes due to COVID at the theater.
We have online ticketing, so there's no interaction with the box office except to scan your ticket through the glass. And pretty much our playgrounds are shut down, unfortunately, which is wonderful. We have a wonderful one for the kids. And then we have a beach volleyball court, that's shut down. Our dog park's shut down, where so unfortunately you can bring your puppy, but you gotta keep him in the car. So these are things that we've had to change. So it's still a huge celebration, but we have to balance the fun quotient with the safety quotient.
As Alan explains, the drive-in as a safe option is actually history repeating itself.
1951, the first drive-in, one of the first drive-ins that opened in California, was called the Circle Drive-In. And when they were promoting this drive-in, one of the starbursts, interestingly, which tells you that history rhymes, that come to the drive-in, the California drive-in, you won't get the flu and you won't get polio. So in a way, we think we're reinventing the wheel, but the drive-in used that as a selling point back in the 50s. And because California had a terrible polio epidemic in the early 50s, which has ravaged a lot of people and was a very serious thing. And so the drive-in was there for people that were worried about catching something, and today people are coming back to the drive-in even more, even though they've been coming to the drive-in for the last 40 years, but they're coming in droves now because they feel safer.
Reporting for Halton News, I'm Nikki Wesley.
Another hot one out there. Environment Canada says this hot weather is here to stay. The heat warning is lasting throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend. There may be some reprieve from the humidity starting on Sunday. We're also under a severe thunderstorm watch across the region tonight. That might include large hail, wind gusts, and heavy rain. Cloud cover expected for the next 4 days of our forecast, so that does change things up from all the sunshine we've been having lately. Up to 33 degrees on Friday. Looking into our weekend, there's a 60% chance of rain on both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will start to cool by Monday, 26 degrees as our high, but still a 60% chance of rain showers. So those of you with your gardens and lawns, they will be improving coming soon. The Burlington Chamber of Commerce put on a virtual 2020 Business Excellence Awards Gala recently, where participants enjoyed a 3-course meal catered by Chamber members in the comfort of their own homes. If you missed the show and want to see this year's winners announced and celebrated, it's now available in its entirety on YouTube, or if you'd prefer to watch it on your television, we will be broadcasting it right here on your TV Wednesday, July 15th at 10 a.m. and Monday, July 20th at 2 p.m. The Oakville Chamber of Commerce 66th Annual Golf Tournament is back and will take place on Tuesday, July 21st. This year, due to COVID-19 restrictions, the tournament will look a little different, but they're excited to host this tournament at the beautiful Glen Abbey Golf Club. There's a welcome gift included, as well as complimentary snack and beverage stations throughout the day to enjoy, plus a meal on the patio for 90 minutes overlooking the 18th hole. There's only a limited amount of foursomes still available. To register, please visit oakvillechamber.com. Taking a look now at how our top employers did on the markets today. We'll be back with an update from our local Burlington Food Bank after this. Welcome back to Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. When you think about the food bank, you may envision canned food and other non-perishables, but one thing you might not realize about the Burlington Food Bank is their focus on fresh, healthy, and nutritious food items.
We just want to thank Burlington Green, who came by yesterday with a donation of food that they've been growing, and they were really great. They washed it all up for us, bagged it, and we were able to give it out to our clients yesterday, so they got it nice and fresh. The other nice thing that they did for us was they actually gave us recipes that we could distribute out to our clients, and it's something that our volunteers on a regular basis previously were doing that as well, that they found a great recipe that was healthy, that we were able to share that with people. So once again, we want to thank Burlington Green for partnering with us, as well as the Burlington Together Grow a Row program. These things are great initiatives. Not only are they providing great food to us, but it also allows us to make sure that we're providing great, nutritious, healthy stuff for our neighbors here in Burlington to be able to eat and be able to prepare great meals with.
For those of you looking for something to do to get out of the house, you should note that many of Conservation Halton parks are open now, but you do need to book a reservation before arriving. You can visit Hilton Falls, Mount Nemo, Crawford Lake, or Rattlesnake Point if you visit Conservation Halton first and book your visit. If you'd prefer to visit Robert Edmondson, you can do so without reservation. Same with Mountsburg Dam, which is open for fishing access. It's important to note, though, that all facilities in these parks remain closed, so you must plan accordingly. Bronte Creek Provincial Park is open on the weekend with physical distancing restrictions in place. You're welcome to walk, hike, or bike from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. For more information, please visit ontarioparks.com. I'd like to thank you so much for watching this evening. You can find more content on yourtv.tv or follow us on social media at yourtvhalton. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading. I thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be live at 5:30.